Rich, well, immigration enforcement efforts continue to ramp up in cities across the country, including right here in New York City. Early Tuesday morning, the new Homeland Security Secretary posting a video on social media showing an arrest being made in the Bronx. Several agencies participated in the operation, including the DEA, Department of Homeland Security, and the ATF. Joining us now is CBS News law enforcement contributor and former deputy commissioner with the NYPD, Richard Esposito. Richard, good to see you this morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
All right, so we now know nearly 24 people were arrested yesterday, some facing criminal charges after, ICE said they obviously had warrants for their arrest. Some were issued administrative warrants. So what's the difference between the two, and are they separated in any way with how things will now proceed from here on out?
Yeah, that's something that, gets lost. So it's a really good thing for people to hear. Deportation comes under federal civil law, not a crime. And people who sell drugs, weapons, have crimes in the United States or overseas, that comes under criminal law, and they get arrested. So what happens? On a civil matter, New York City is prohibited from actively helping the federal government. There's the sanctuary city things, and Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch issued a 2-page memo outlining the law so that all the officers in the department understand it. But on the federal level, you've seen DEA and ATF, particularly in Homeland Security, involved in these things. These guys have a caseload of criminal cases all over the country about people who are undocumented and commit crimes.
So let me then ask you this. As you mentioned, New York City being a sanctuary city, as are a number of other cities across the country. Are you surprised by the mayor's involvement here? Because obviously the NYPD has been involved in some of these in the subsequent hours since these raids started.
I'm not surprised. The mayor has expressed concern about the nature of our sanctuary city laws and but they're the laws he's stuck with. But he's not happy about them in total. And the city is not going to block things. They will cooperate, they say, according to city officials, as much as the law allows them to. Whereas federal agencies like ATF, they've got cases all over Phoenix of undocumented people who sell weapons, move money across borders, and they'll go after those people. Same with DEA.
So, Richard, let me ask you this. We heard the press secretary mention yesterday, because, again, all of the talk with these immigration raids and these mass deportations for the past few months have been about they're only going after the worst of the worst, the hardened criminals. Now you hear the press secretary mention yesterday that, well, no, anyone who's entered this country illegally, you are considered a criminal. So now, if you've got, let's say, 650,000 roughly illegal immigrants that are in the state of New York, should all 650,000 of those people be nervous as they wake every day thinking that this could be the day that you're picked up and deported?
Now, that's an important question. If they arrest 1,000 people a day for the next 14 years, they won't get the numbers they're claiming. It's just not going to add. People are concerned because it's sort of indiscriminate. If you were here 15 years, you have children and a job, should you be treated the same way as somebody who came across the border during the last administration when we allowed people from Nicaragua and Venezuela?
And Richard, final question for you. We got to let you go here. I got about 30 seconds. But when these people are picked up, are they deported immediately, or do they go to a kind of like a holding cell? What's happening with these pickups that we're seeing on the streets right now of New York?
I mean, they'll get processed by the federal government, and then they're going to push them out as quick as possible. We've seen the planes to Colombia. We've seen the planes to other people. They're not wasting any time getting people out of the United States.
And then final question I have for you. What are your thoughts on, like, Major Garrett from CBS did a ride-along with these. You've had Dr. Phil doing ride-alongs with these, with cameras filming. I mean, this is a dangerous situation. It's not a TV show, correct?
That's correct. The optics of embedding people are really smart from a press point of view. From the point of view of concern, these are risky situations when you're going after criminal gangs. So I'm sure they're providing safety for the reporters, but these are fluid. And when you're kicking in doors or pushing people out of doors, the reporters have to be incredibly careful.
Exactly. All right, Richard, great to talk with you as always. Thanks for being with us this morning. All right, Richard joins us every week, as you know. For more on President Trump's new immigration orders and how they impact our area, you can head to our website at cbsnewyork.com.